You are welcome to Davetuts Academy, where we are devoted to bringing students up in their academic excellence when it comes to their STEM subjects. Today, we want to be looking at some sub-questions in WAEC Maths 2018, past questions, the section A of the core paper. But I'm sure that the reason you are here is because you are serious-minded, you want to strive for excellence, you want to be the best in academics. And if that's the case, you are in the right place. All you need to do so that you don't miss out in subsequent wonderful lectures like this is that you just need to click on the subscribe icon, click on the like icon, share the video, let your friends know about it. We all can be the best in what we are doing, and I don't want it to be left out. So today we'll be going to all the questions in the section A of Mathematics Core Paper 2018 as featured in WAEC. Now, our very first question is here. We are looking at a used car that was purchased at 900,000 naira and is value depreciated by 30% in the first year, and in each subsequent year, the depreciation was 22% of the value at the beginning of that year. So, if it is bought on March 2011, we have to find the value of the car by February 2015. Now, in the year 1, there is a 30% depreciation. So, after that year 1, the new value will be 100% minus 30% of its original value. If it depreciated by 30%, then the new value will be 100 minus 30% of the original value, which is 900,000 naira. And so that will give us 70% of 900,000 naira. And by the time we have to calculate that, that will be 70 over 100 times 900,000 naira. And if we bring in our calculator and we calculate that, we have 70 divided by 100 times 900,000. That will give 630,000 naira after the first year, in which the depreciation is by 30%. So now, by the end of by the year 2012, the value is 630,000. Now, for the year 2013, 14, and 2015, we are told that the depreciation was 22% for these 3 years. Is the same value of depreciation, 22% for these 3 years, and that means the value that we're going to get after this period that elapsed, that is the final value by February 2015, is going to be now 100 minus 22% of the value of the start year, which is 630,000. But remember, we are looking at 3 years here, so we are going to raise that percentage by the power of 3, representing the 3 years. So we are going to have 78 over 100 raised to power 3 multiplied by 630,000 naira. Now, it's because it's 3 years, that's why we are raising depreciation over 3 years. I didn't mean that it's only 2 years, we raise the depreciation over 2 years raised to the power of 2. So here we can have 78 divided by 100 raised to power 3 multiplied by 630,000. That will give us 298,976 naira and 76 kobo. Right? Now we're asked to find the answer correct to the nearest 100 naira. That means we are going to take the 9 and round it up to 1 and add it to 8 in rounding up, and that will be 299,000 naira. And that's the value of the car by February 2015. Now, question number 2a, we are told that the graph of y is 2px squared minus p squared s minus 14 passes through the point 3, 10. What we need to note is that 3, 10 represents x, y. And here, if you are to find the values of p, What we need to do is to substitute the value of x and y to be 310 in the original equation, and then we can solve for p. So from our equation, y is now 10, we have 2p, x is 3 square, minus p square, x is 3 minus 40. If you are to take 14 to the left hand side, it will become plus. So we have 10 plus 14 equal to 2p, 3 square is 9, minus p square and 3. That will give 3p square. So here we can have 24 is equal to 18p minus 3p square. Now if you want to put everything on the same side, we want to take everything to the left hand side, we will have 3p square minus 18p. The sign changes when they cross the equal to. So now we can see that all can be divided by 3, because 3 is a common factor. So we have p square minus 6p plus 8 is 0. Now this is giving us a quadratic equation that we can solve. We can look for the product 8. What two numbers can we multiply to get 8, and yet we'll add them to get minus 6? Now we can consider the numbers minus 4 and minus 2. If we multiply minus 4 and minus 2, the negative will cancel out to give us 8. And if we add minus 4 and minus 2, that will give us minus 6. So those are the numbers we can use. And here we can have p square minus 4p minus 2p plus 8 is 0. So that p square, we can factor that p out, p into p minus 4 minus 2 into p minus 4. Now when these negative numbers, when they multiply, they will give positive 8. So we are on track. If we factor that out, we have p minus 2 is equal to 0, or p minus 4 is equal to 0. And that will give p is 2 or p is 4. Those are the values of p that were asked to find. Good. Our question number 2b, we are told that two lines which are given by these equations intersect at the point Q, and we have to find the coordinate of Q. Now, if we understand the concept of the graph very well on our Cartesian coordinates, whenever we draw two lines and they intersect at a point they intersect is the unique solution to those two lines. The equation of those two lines have a unique solution at the point in which they intersect, meaning that this is just a set of simultaneous equations that we can solve, and the solution to that simultaneous equation will give us the unique solution, that is the coordinates of the point Q where they intersect. So if you write out our equation 1 and 4y plus 5x minus 5 is equal to 5 as equation 2, we can look at this, and if we want to eliminate y, we can multiply equation 1 by the coefficient of y in equation 2. So here we are going to have equation 1 multiplied by the coefficient of y in the second equation, which is 4, and equation 2 multiplied by the coefficient of y in the first equation, which is 3. If we are to expand that, we have 4 into 3y minus 2x equal to 4 multiplied by 21. We'll multiply on both sides, and then equation will yield 12y minus 8x. 4 multiplied by 2x is minus 8x. Then 4 times 21 is 84. Then the other one, we have 3 into 4y plus 5x equal to 3 into 5. So if you open a bracket, we are going to have 12y plus 15x equal to 15. Now 12y is common to both. We can subtract the second equation from the first equation. Then we can have only the variable x to solve for. So if you are to subtract like that, 12y will cancel out. That will cancel out. So we have minus 8x minus 15x is equal to 84 minus 15. So this will yield minus 23x is equal to 69. Alright. So if you divide through by minus 23 will cancel out, and then here we'll have minus 3 when we divide 69 by minus 23. So x is minus 3. And this value of x we can use in equation 1 or equation 2 as we so desire. Here I'll be using equation 1. So from equation 1, I can substitute the value of x to have 3y minus 2 into minus 3 is 21. So 3y, the negative we multiply each other to give us plus. That will be plus 6 is 21. So that my y is 15 over 3, and that is 5. So solving for x and y had given us the coordinates of the point Q where the two lines where they intersect, and that coordinate is 3 minus 3, 5. Alright. Another question here. We are told that the diagonals of a rhombus are 10.2 centimeter and 9.3 centimeter long. So we have to find the perimeter of the rhombus. Now, understanding the properties of a rhombus will help us to solve this question. And the key property we need to understand is that the diagonals of a rhombus, normally they intersect at the middle at right angles, and at the point of intersection they are being divided into two. So here, instead of having 10.2 centimeter, the length on the side of this diagonal, half of it will be 5.1 centimeter, and the other one will be 9.3 divided by 2, 4.65 centimeter. So looking at this diagram, we can see that we can get a right angle triangle out of the rhombus as one side of the rhombus. If you are to draw that out, let's draw out our triangle from the rhombus. We have this triangle, a right angle triangle. We have this side as 4.65 and the base as 5.1. But let's call the hypotenuse, let's call it x. We can use Pythagoras theorem to find the value of x. You know that that's the hypotenuse square, and it will be the square of the opposite plus the square of the opposite plus the square of the adjacent, so that our h square will be 4.65 square plus 5.1 square, 47.6325. So x will be the square root of 47.6325. And if we are to check that, square root of that is 6.90163. Okay? 6.190163 centimeter. But nobody asks us to find the value of x. What we are asked is to find the perimeter of the rhombus. Now, if we go back to our diagram, we'll see that the perimeter is the sum of all the sides, and the sides constitute 4x zeros. So our perimeter will be 4 multiplied by 6.90163 centimeter, and that will be 27.60652 centimeter. 60652 centimeter. But we're asked to find this correct to one decimal place. That will be 27.6 centimeter. And that's all about that. Now here we have a trigonometric question. We are given that sine x is 3 over 5 and x is an acute angle between 0 and 90. So we have to find 5 cos x minus 4 tan x. If you remember our SOHCAHTOA, here sine x is 3 over 5, and that corresponds to opposite over hypotenuse. That means our opposite is 3, our hypotenuse is 5. And we have to add this particular triangle and label it appropriately. This is angle angle x, the opposite to it is 3, and the hypotenuse is 5. So we don't know this adjacent. Let's call it A. We can use Pythagoras theorem to find the adjacent. So if we are to use Pythagoras theorem, we know that the hypotenuse square, the 5 square, will be the opposite square plus the adjacent square. Our adjacent is A now, and this is coming from hypotenuse square is opposite square plus adjacent square. Now, that means 25 will give 9 plus A square, and our A square will be 25 minus 9, which is 16, so that A is the square root of 16, and that will be 4. Now, that means we've gotten our A, the adjacent, to be 4. If we are to show that in our diagram, this is 4. Now, we can define our cosine and our tangent since we know all the sides of the right angle triangle. So now, what's going to be our cos? What's going to be our tan? Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, and we have gotten the adjacent as 4. We know hypotenuse is 5. And then tan x. Tan x is opposite over adjacent. Tan x is opposite over adjacent, and that will yield the opposite is 3, the adjacent is 4. So knowing these values, we can plug into the value of 5 cos x minus 4 tan x as requested for in the question. Now we have 5. What is cos x? Cos x is 4 over 5. Now minus 4. What is tan x? Tan x is 3 over 4. Now 5 will cut 5, and 4 will also divide 4, so that we have 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. Meaning that 5 cos x minus 4 tan x that we are requested to find is nothing but 1. And that's the solution to our problem. Now, going to question 4a. Here we are given the diagram, a circle, and QOS is the diameter, angle RQS is x, and angle QST, the obtuse angle, is 3x plus 15. We have to find the value of x and angle RSQ. Now, there are so many ways we can go about trying to solve this question. But first, I'm looking at a triangle with an exterior angle, and I can say the exterior angle is the sum of the two opposite interior angles, so that I can use that to solve for the value of x. So now the exterior angle is 3x plus 15, which is angle QST. The obtuse angle QST is equal to angle SQR plus angle QRS. Now, angle QRS has been depicted as 90, and the other one we know as x. So 3x plus 15 will give us x plus 90 degrees. And if we are to collect like terms, that will be 3x minus x is 90 minus 15. So that 2x is, this will be 75. So if we are to divide by 2 all through, our x is 37.5 degrees. That means our x is 37.5 degrees. So the first question is solved like that. Now we have to look for angle RSQ. There are also so many ways we can also go ahead to find this. As this is being shaded, we can notice a number of things. It is on a straight line. We can use that to solve for it. If we call it y, alternatively, we can say that from the diagram, since it's a right angle triangle that we are looking at, x plus y is going to give us 90 degrees. And why? Is because they are complementary angles. They are complementary because they are the two other angles of a right angled triangle. One angle is 90 already, so the other two will add up to 90. So that means y will be 90 minus x, which is 90 minus 37.5. And that will give 90 minus 37.5. That will give us 52.5 degrees. Now, understanding the concepts, the theorems of triangles, circles will help us in solving questions like this. There are so many ways you can use to solve it. Alternatively, to find the value of y, for example, I can consider the line RST, and from the line RST, I can bring in the equation of a straight line, which will sum up to 180 degrees. So I can say from the line RST, 3x plus 15 plus y is 180 degrees. And that's because that's the angle, the sum of the angles on a straight line. And I will still get the same solution to the problem. Alright. So this is our angle RSQ, which is y at 52.5 degrees. Now we have a question in number base. We are given that 2n for base 7 is 15n base 9, and we have to find the value of n. Now, looking at a question like this in two different bases, and yet we are asked to find the solution of the number featuring there, which is n, what we need to understand is that we can solve this easily if we take both left and the right hand side to base 10. So what we need to do is just convert both sides from whatever base they are, convert them to base 10, and we'll see what can come up from there in solving our question. So to convert to base 10, what we need to do is that we take each of the numerals and multiply it by some corresponding power of the base starting from 0. So here 7 from 0, 1, 2, and the same thing we also do to the right hand side. 1 multiplied by 9 plus 5 multiplied by 9 plus n multiplied by 9, then the powers of 9 from 0, 1, 2. Now, this will automatically help us to solve this type of question. If you are to open the bracket, now a silly mistake to do is to say 4 times 7 is 28. No, but here we're having 7 raised to power 0, and any number raised to power 0 is 1. So here we have 4 multiplied by 1 and not 4 times 7. And 9 squared will be 81. 5 times 9 will be 45. Plus, again, we have n multiplied by 1. Any number raised to power 0 is 1. So if you are to open our bracket up and do that on both sides, eventually what we are going to have is that we can collect the n to one side so that we have 7n minus n is equal to 81 plus 45, then minus 98 and minus 4 when they move to the right hand side. So we have 6n is the sum of all this. Let me use my calculator here. 81 plus 45 minus 98 minus 4. That's 24. So 6n is 24. And dividing through by 6, you can see that our n will be equal to 4. And that is the value of n that we are asked to find. Alright. Now, in this section here, question number 5a, the mean of mn, s, p, and q is 12. We are to find the mean of n plus 4, n plus 3, s plus 6, p minus 2, and q plus 8. Now, originally, how do you find the mean of a set of numbers? We find the mean by adding the numbers all together and dividing by their frequency. Now, here we have 5 numbers. That means the frequency is 5. And we have been told that that mean is 12. So, if you are to cross multiply on this particular equation we have, that will give us m plus n plus s plus p plus q is 12 times 5, which is 60. So we can keep that because we are still going to find it useful when we are using these other numbers, m plus 4, n minus 3, s plus 6, p minus 2, and q plus 8. So now the new mean that we are requested to find will be the sum of all these numbers, n plus 4 plus n minus 3 plus x plus 6 plus P minus 2 plus Q plus 8. Everything divided by their frequency. Now, there are also 5. These are 5 numbers because they are put in brackets. So, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, that's why we have 5. And now we can say we want to open up the brackets. And let's say we collect all the alphabets together. M, N, S, P, Q plus, now the numerals, 4 minus 3 plus 6 minus 2 plus 8. Everything divided by 5. That will give us our mean. But interestingly, now we are having M, N, S, P, and Q, which we have found to be 60 initially. We found them to be 60 initially. So instead of using those alphabets, we can use 60 since that's their sum. So that will be 60 plus 4 minus 3 plus 6 minus 2 plus 8 divided by 5. Alright, if you are to bring our calculator in, we have 60 plus 4 minus 3 plus 6 minus 2 plus 8. That will be 73 divided by 5. And 73 divided by 5 will yield 14.6. So the mean of these numbers is 14.6. Alright, now our last question in section A. We are told that in a community of 500 people, the 75th percentile age is 65 years, while the 25th percentile age is 15 years. Now we are asked how many of the people are between 15 and 65. If you recall our cumulative frequency curve, the Ogive, normally it will be something like this, and we have cumulative frequency on the vertical side, and here we can have the age on the horizontal side. Now we are told the 75th percentile and the 25th percentile. If you are to depict that on the diagram, here we have 25th percentile corresponding to some age and 75th percentile corresponding to some age. Now, this is 65 years and the other is 15 years. And here is the 25th percentile and then 75th percentile. Good. Now, since we have been opportune to know the total number of people in the community, we can easily find the 75th percentile and the 25th percentile, and then to get the number of people between ages 15 and 65, we can subtract that so that our solution can easily come out. So here, the total number of people is 500, and then the 75th percentile will correspond to 75% of 500. So if you cut out, you can have 75 times 5, and that will be 375 people. Okay, and then the 25th percentile will likewise correspond to 25% of 500, and if we also cut out, that will be 25 multiplied by 5, which is 125 people. So now we have the upper age bracket, we have the lower age bracket. The number of people between the 15th and the 65 years of age will now give us this range within the cumulative frequency curve. I'm just showing the curve for explanation purposes, and that will correspond to 375 people minus 125 people, and that will be 250 people. Now, as cool as that, within some 30 minutes we have been able to solve all our questions in the section A of the Mathematics Core Paper 2018. What I advocate for again and again is for the student to get his hands quite dirty lay your hands on as many questions as you can solve, you can see the more you practice, the better you are going to become. These are not magical. It comes to whoever is there ready to give the value of time, the value of diligence, and the appropriate way of studying to questions like this. And that's what Davetuts Academy is always around for. You can come around there, check our videos, study with them, so that you'll become quite good in preparation for your exam. And as you prepare, you can also go forth and be the best that you can be. That's all we're going to be having for today. Don't forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. You can watch out for subsequent videos from Davetuts Academy on preparing for your exams. And until next time, God bless you.